All right, fam. He's been combing this beard for about 30 minutes prior to this live stream. What is up with that?
I gotta look good in these international streets. Shoot, I got this premature gray thing going on. Some people grow one, two, three, four, five gray hairs and think they too old to do anything. They too old to move abroad.
Well, if they say they too old, I guess they too old.
They too old.
Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money. We talk about travel. We talk about moving abroad as we build generational wealth. So, okay, sweetheart, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we are talking about, are you too old to move abroad?
Yes, truths and myths about moving abroad after 50. But first, if you're new to our channel, then you may not know about 6 years ago, Rick and I were looking at retirement age and our money looked funny.
Look bad, yeah.
But about 3 years ago, we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 over 800,000 in net worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Cha-ching.
So if any of that, gosh, if any of that sounds interesting to you, please hit the like, subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know every time we go live.
And share it with a friend.
Yeah, share what you like.
Because how many people are not subscribed?
Yeah, about 50% of the folks who watch our, especially y'all in the replay, are not subscribed. And we're trying to get to 5,000, right?
Don't let this premature beard fool you. We know who you are.
Yes. So a good friend of ours, Adelia Borshade of Picky Girl Travels the World, did a couple of videos, one specifically and in the last few months about, are you too old to move abroad? And so we wanted to continue that conversation. After this video, if you'd like to watch that one, it is in the description below. So before we get started, I just want to say, you have a few more hours to sign up for the Get Your Money Straight Financial Challenge, 1-week challenge that starts tomorrow. Folks have already received the pre-work and are getting started. We do not want this holiday season to catch you buying and spending a bunch of money. You can start the new year off with a plan to get out of the USA, if that's what you want to do, and get on the road to retirement. So 1-week challenge. I'm going to put it in the chat as well. When we get off of this live, it'll probably be an hour more, and then we have to turn it off. I think we've got I know that we have about 54 people in the class right now.
That's good.
Yeah.
People wanting to save that money.
Yeah. And so we don't want you to get left behind. We don't know. When are we going to do this again?
I don't know. We haven't really sat down and talked about it. It's going to be a while, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a while because we need to get some stuff straight and kind of, we've only been back in Lisbon now for, going on 3 months.
Yes.
So, still stuff to do. All right, let's get started and see who is already with us today. So Kendall was in early. I'm not sure if she's still watching. Ain't nobody coming to see you, though, Otis. I just love that name. I just love saying it. In Atlanta traffic, which is almost as bad as LA traffic. I did put a link in the chat for our Fire Over 50 Facebook group for folks of the diaspora. If that is you, the African diaspora, if that is you, then you don't have to be over 50. Go ahead and join the group. We're talking all things money. This is kind of a crowdsourcing Facebook group where we help each other out, give each other support on the road to financial independence. Hello, Professor.
Hey, Professor. How you doing?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Barbara. Oh, y'all, I love you. This is part of your Sunday ritual. I love it. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, how you doing?
And Marguerite. Hello, our Black Utopia and everyone. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. And yes, Rick pronounces Marguerite correctly.
Thank you.
I listen to my husband sometimes. Sometimes.
Very rare.
Hey, Action VJ. Yes, please hit that like button. We love you. Thank you for always reminding folks. Chandra, hello. Vanessa Ruiz, Travel Artistry by VR. Good to see you again in my travels. Good to see you in the chat. Tanisha, hey there.
Hey,
Saw you
Tanisha.
earlier today on Rashida's channel. Yes, yes, yes. From Connecticut. Love it. Hey,
Barbara.
Dee. Greta from New York. Hey, Lucille.
Hey, Greta.
Creativity Reigns. Valerina. Good to see you. Nubia Net. Kimberly. Annabelle. Love that name. And then it's me. Hey, Auntie Trey.
Hey, Auntie Trey.
Yeah. Ivy. And is it Agami? I hope I'm saying that right. Agami. That seems like a new name. Is that a new name?
No, I've seen it.
Have you seen it before? Okay, I'm sorry. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Marie, good to see you in the chat. And Kat from the Rebloom Room. I was watching her earlier today, going live again. Look at you. Hey, Killer Queen and Karen and Kenya. Love it. Wanda's 50 plus traveling lifestyle. I love it. I love it. And gang stalking simulation. Do they celebrate Thanksgiving out there? No, they do not. They do not. It is an American fabricated based upon some nonsense and lies. But I would say the American community here does celebrate Thanksgiving. Yeah. And so we had some friends over. I didn't make turkey and stuffing and all of that stuff. But we
had chili, y'all. And she even made some homemade
cornbread.
And it was almost as good as a Jiffy.
Almost as good as boxed cornbread. Now, you know that's sad.
It was very good. It was very good.
That is sad. And oh my gosh. So Dr. Phil is starting right off with thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks to you and other folks like you, we gave away 4 scholarships to our challenge, which starts tomorrow. I put the information in the chat. 4 scholarships. So 4 people were able to take the challenge to help get their money straight because of Dr. Phil and people like Dr. Phil who have done super chats in this. So I just love it. Yes, put a Q in front of your questions and we'll get to them in a second. But first, let's get to the first myth about moving abroad after the age of 50.
Okay, the first one is, and I have to read them off because she wrote them. Is adult communities or commitments, adult commitments prohibits me from moving abroad, running away, versus I'm being an example for my family.
And providing opportunities. So we're going to give the myth, and then we're going to get, which is usually based in limited thinking and deficit thinking. And then we are going to give the opposite, which is more of a life of abundance and positive thinking, right? So adult commitments prohibit me from moving abroad. So we've heard about, I'm going to wait until after my kids graduate, until, my daughter has her first grandchild, or I can't move because I've got grandchildren, or I can't move because what about the job? What about the house? What about this? What about that? So obviously when you're 20 years old or so, you ain't talking about none of that stuff, right? And when I see videos talking about it's not too late to move abroad at 30, yeah. I just want to slap them. But I understand if you have a rooted life in America or Canada or the UK, wherever your home country is, and with a mortgage and family and all of this stuff, it may seem difficult because of the expectations. How many of those expectations did you put on yourself? And how much of the expectation is based on real need, right? So y'all know that I'm the caregiver for my parents. They are in the States and I am here. Mm-hmm. So yes, I am still expected to make sure that they are okay and that they are being taken care of, but that does not mean that I have to do it physically myself. Hello. Right. And then the notion of moving abroad is running away. Right. And my mom, said that, why are you running away? And it's like, no, not running away. We are creating a new adventure. Right.
Yeah.
And like our daughter said, you guys got to do it so you can show us how it's done.
Yeah. My oldest daughter really, really, really encouraged me, Shannon, really encouraged me to do it so we could show them that it can be done.
Yes. Yes.
I
Right?
mean, being older and it's been a blast. We're having a good time out here. We're enjoying. I think we are living our truly best life. The without the stresses and everything else. It's a journey. It's always a journey, and
We'll talk about some of
yeah,
those
we'll
hiccups and
hit
some of
some of
those
them.
things that get frustrating. I think Rashida was talking about that earlier as well, regarding Mexico. And, there's always challenges when you move abroad. But like yesterday, we've got the Metro card, which basically takes you all around the metro area. And we went all the way down south to the harbor of Setúbal, and then took the ferry across the way to Troia, I think it's called. Oh my gosh, y'all.
Yeah,
We're going to put together a short video, just because it is so, so beautiful.
so beautiful.
It
Beautiful beaches aren't crowded. Of course,
Yes.
it's not. It's almost winter, but still, it's not cold. And you would expect to see some people out there, but it was just a beautiful place.
Yes. Yeah. Quiet beaches, big beaches, not narrow beaches. And one of the things that I love about, at least this part of Portugal that I've seen, is that all of the beaches are public. They're not private. And so, all Portuguese folks and folks like us who are kind of nudging our way in get to enjoy the
Hmm.
beautiful natural resources. So Nico says, "Oh my God, you just spoke to me. I took on being a caregiver to my mom and felt tied down because of it." And our parents, when you think about how, if you are a parent and you have children, you do not want to clip their wings, right? And so why does that change if your child is an adult? And to me, demanding that they be the one to physically be there to do the thing is clipping wings. And as I say, life is for the living. So I'm going to just glance at these questions that I saw. So we have a habit here of putting a Q in front of the question, and I saw some there. Okay, so the
Yeah.
questions that do not apply to what we're talking about, we will get to. But we're going to just take questions right now, that are pertaining to the subject matter, and then we'll get to some general Portugal questions because we know y'all have them.
Hmm.
I just turned 64 in October, and I'm planning my exit this time, 2023. So fall 2023. I hear the noise is real in apartment living. Have you experienced that? Thanks for your videos.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yes, we have.
So why we're laughing is because literally before we started going live, the folks upstairs were having a party. And I was like, so we're in the back of the apartment. They sounded like they were mostly in the front in the living room, if their apartment is situated like ours, which I'm sure it is. They were in the living room and they were making a lot of noise, a
Yeah,
lot. And I was like, oh my God, are we going to hear this during the live? But literally about 10 minutes before we went live, we
they
heard
left.
them walking down the stairs and making so much noise. We know they were young. They were making so much noise. So, as
I think
far,
they were probably preteen.
you think they were young, that
Yeah,
young? It
yeah.
sounded like they were playing Wii or something. That's what it sounded like, because there was a lot of like jumping up and down and stuff like that. World Cup is going on. I don't know if there was a game on. I have no idea. But as far as noise in general, just general living, besides some walking back and forth from time to time, scooting chairs or like moving chairs, like if somebody's vacuuming and stuff like that, not really.
Mm-mm.
Although, so apartments are situated differently, right? And here in Portugal, we are in the historic district. There are courtyards where like three, four, five apartments kind of face each other on the inside. And We've got some folks across the way that think they're running a karaoke bar in their apartment.
Oh yeah, on the weekends normally,
Yeah.
not during the week.
And they have strong noise ordinances here in Lisbon. So if you call, they will shut that stuff down.
Yeah, the GNR will come and shut it down.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Especially if it's past curfew for noise.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I'm not sure exactly what that time is. I think it might be 10 on weekdays, but I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. I'm 71 and have been in Portugal for 6 weeks and now in the south of Spain, solo travel.
You go, Killer Queen.
Yes, yes, yes.
You go.
That's right.
Yes.
That is right. Do you both agree to the move, or did one of you have to convince the other?
No, we were on the same page.
We were not on the same page at first about where.
Where, yeah.
Or when.
No, not where or when, but we did know, we knew we wanted to move abroad.
Yes, yes. So I think it started with our trip to South Africa. You know, y'all know this, back in 2008. And so that was the first time we're like, we could live here.
Yeah.
Right. And then, like a lot of people, when Sarah Palin got named the nominee on the other side, we were like, if she get elected, we moving to Canada. Right. We moving to Canada. So, and I actually started doing the research to see what the qualifications were. I mean, yeah. Now, why we didn't say that in 2016, I have no idea. But yeah, that probably we should have. Not to Canada, though. Not to Canada.
No.
So, all right. So adult commitments prohibit me from moving abroad or running away. You know, that notion, I'm running away, that is a limiting thought belief. We look at it as we're being an example for our family and providing opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, now they know somebody that lives here.
Yes, yes.
They can come visit. There's no reason why they can't come visit and experience Europe.
Yeah, we ain't paying their way, though.
No.
We ain't paying their way. We ain't paying their way.
I mean, you can if you want to, but, but it just gives them, there's a place to stay.
For a limited time.
Showing them how to get around, showing them different things that they need to do. And it's not difficult for people to pick it up pretty quick. And just experience it. Just to experience it.
Yes, definitely. Okay. Myth number 2. If I move abroad, I have to start all over. I'm not even sure what that what does starting over mean? Does, I don't know what that means. And it could mean accumulating a bunch more stuff because you don't want to ship it, especially if you're not moving to a place like Mexico where you can just drive across the border with your stuff. If you have to ship it over across the ocean, then it could be cost prohibitive. You certainly don't want to be shipping furniture that's not going to fit in smaller spaces, and deal with customs and all of that nonsense. Yeah. So I'm not even sure what folks mean when they say that, but we've heard that before.
I think it's just a frame of mind of when people talk about moving, they're talking about taking this and taking that. And, people are even talking about bringing cars and, you still have a lot of people do that. It's like,
you don't want to be driving a big GMC SUV on these narrow behind streets.
Yeah, it won't work.
Y'all, I'm telling you, the biggest I've seen is like a BMW mini station wagon. And then the vans.
There's vans, but they're smaller vans.
They're smaller vans.
Built for these streets.
Yes.
The largest things I've seen is fire trucks and garbage trucks.
Exactly.
But they don't go down small streets.
No, they don't. No, they do not.
So, there's, and then the fact that the DMV does not work the same here as it does in the United States. So you got to go through some stuff to even get a driver's license.
Yeah.
And it might take you a month. Or it might take you a year.
Yeah, that's what we've heard. I guess we should try in case we want to rent a car for a day trip or something. But they drive so crazy. They drive so crazy here that I could see us like going out to Cascais, renting there to drive up the coast.
Yeah, up the coast. It's further out, out in the
away
country
from
and
this,
stuff like
away
that.
from this traffic.
Yeah, they got it driving inside Lisbon. Oh my goodness, you got to know, or not just Lisbon, but Cascais and where do we go? To Coimbra.
Yeah.
You got to know how to drive. They drive like they know how to drive, but they scare the heck out of me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We've got some video on Coimbra, on these narrow streets.
Yeah, and they're real small streets.
Oh my gosh. So a more positive look is, as opposed to if I move abroad, I have to start over, we look at it as it's time to reinvent ourselves, reinvent what we want our life to look like. Right. And so old HALISI worked 70 hours a week. Old Rick worked 70 to 80 hours a week. Old HALISI did politics and ate, slept, drank politics.
Mm-mm.
No more. Old HALISI woke up at the crack of dawn. This HALISI does not have an alarm clock, or doesn't use my phone. I don't set it. I wake up when I wake up.
Yeah.
Right? So let's see what y'all are talking about in the chat here. I love it. So a good friend of mine just lost her dad after a long battle with dementia, and she said to me the other day, now I can start living my life again. She's now open to moving abroad.
Encourage her. Auntie Trey, encourage her.
Yes.
Be that person, be that positive person in her life that doesn't say, oh, you don't need to do that, or you should be doing this, girl, or, why you got to work. Encourage her.
Yes.
True.
Yes, because first of all, as someone who is dealing with that, we moved my dad from Los Angeles to Colorado back in 2018, the end of 2017, something like that. And at that point, he was just, forgetful with his bills and things like that, would lose things and stuff like that. And maybe getting lost a little bit, though, no one told me until after the fact. Nor did I really understand what I was getting myself into. We did not know, because if we knew, we would have probably made different decisions. But one of the things that he said to me when he was like, I don't know if I want to move in with you guys because I don't want to be a burden. And so I took him at his word. And when it got too hard, I started looking for another situation, started looking for help. For lots of reasons. But one of the reasons, besides the fact that we couldn't do this and bring him, but one of the reasons is it is really emotionally taxing to watch a parent lose themselves, to watch your parent slowly die before your eyes. When their body is not, getting worse at the same rate that their mind is. And the dad that raised me, the dad that I knew even in 2017, 2018, does not exist anymore. Mm-hmm. He still knows who I am, and we video chat on a regular basis, but he's not the same person, and it's heartbreaking. And so how much stress is that putting on me? And I was just talking to my new doctor here, and she was talking about how much stress really, really, really plays a role on our physical health. And y'all, we are not trying to be, living our dream life, right? And then all broken down. That's the thing. Like, if I would have waited, my grandmother did not pass away, and she had Alzheimer's. She did not pass away to 102 years old, 103, 102, something like that. I'm not waiting 20 more years.
Yeah.
No. So, it's really tough.
Wanting to live your life does not make you a bad person. Lisa had a question. She didn't have
this one?
Yes.
Do you recommend moving abroad being single?
So, Lisa, we know a lot of people that are doing just that.
Actually, most of the people that we know here are single.
Yeah, a lot of single people, some with children.
Yes.
So there's nothing. The thing about it is this, Lisa, is wherever you move, you can find community.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Facebook groups out there. If you don't choose to move to Portugal, but you want to move to Spain, or if you want to move to Italy, whatever country, Germany, there's community.
Yeah.
There is community, people that look like you and are there for you.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. As a matter of fact, the trip that we took a day trip yesterday because it was sunny. It wasn't, no rain was in the forecast, although it didn't rain that much today, but it threatened to rain a lot. Our friend is single, right? And she's one of the first friends that we made here, and we love her, and she's a blast, and she's living her best life. As a matter of fact, we interviewed her and another single woman who is moving here, already has an apartment, should be back soon. Liz and Twana, we interviewed about 6 months ago, Black expats of Portugal. So check that out. Okay.
Our next door neighbor is single with a daughter.
Yes.
And she is, she started community here.
Okay. You have to be on the same page if you're going to be successful. So we're going to be interviewing someone who helps folks who move with either a partner or a family. She actually coaches on adjusting to the new country, because she has run into a lot of folks who were not all on the same page, but just agreed to it. And then, they remember the place when they were on vacation and how nice it was.
Mm-hmm.
But living there and vacationing there are two separate things. Although sometimes I feel like we're on a perpetual vacation.
Yeah, you could look at it that way, but
we don't spend as much as we do when we're on vacation, but it does feel kind of vacation-y.
Well, yeah, and it's still new, and you're just exploring and finding all kind of new adventures and stuff like that. So
exactly. I plan to retire in 5 years. I'm 57 and want to use my Social Security as part of my finances for the move. Should I wait or move sooner? It depends. It depends, Lucille. So, in the Ready to Retire toolkit, let me put that up. One of the questions that we ask is, will there be a gap in between your, the time that you want to stop working and when you receive any kind of pension or can withdraw from your 401k or Social Security? If there's a gap, then you need to plan for that. So if you already have enough so that you can start withdrawing down from a Roth IRA, brokerage account, and fill that gap in between now and Social Security, don't wait. Like, life is for the living, and I just wouldn't wait. If you're thinking about Portugal, I especially would not wait, because they are always in discussions about changing the visas. And so y'all probably heard that the golden visa was going away. It didn't pass. It did not pass, but it's going to come back up again. And then they've got a digital nomad visa, which means that they're the D7 visa. They're really, really just looking at folks who have passive income and are planning to stay. Hey, Mom. Good to see you in the chat. Okay, so that was Lucille. You are now the bridge for your family. Yes, you're paving the way for family also to move abroad and live better lives. Yes, 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 and yes. And the thing about it is, as I was saying earlier, I thought, this was in Rashida's chat, because, it's a Sunday ritual, that I thought only rich people moved abroad.
Yeah, I think most people thought that.
Yep. So, I just never really thought it was possible until we started doing the research. I mean, really, like, could we do this? Mm-hmm. I think she's making a joke here. We love you, Kat. Yeah, look. These people are not going to be up in our house indefinitely. You mentioned Africa. Well, where else did you two visit, and what boxes did Portugal check for you all? Well, we'll talk about this really quick, even though this is kind of off topic. So we were in South Africa for a month. Yeah, a while back, and I think the two biggest things with Portugal were the location, because of where else we want to travel. This is a good home base for the other places that we want to travel.
Yeah.
Right. And then this was the only visa that we found in an area that we wanted to live in where they make a clear path to citizenship, a clear, easy, short path to citizenship. And I want 2 passports.
But I mean, Portugal did check pretty much all boxes, everything that we were looking for, everything that
we can definitely talk about that more. I loved my first apartment in Paris. Ooh, we've passed through, but we have not been, and it is so on our list. I keep looking at house sits. So, myths and truths about moving abroad after 50. The first one was, my adult commitments are going to prohibit me from moving abroad, which is limited thinking, versus I can be an example for my family and provide opportunities for my family to move abroad. The second limiting belief or myth, if I move abroad, I have to start all over, versus.
Where are we at? Oh, I'm down there. Versus being an example for my family. We said that one.
Yep.
Or I am reinventing myself.
That's right. And I think, we're definitely different people now than we were even 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Right? So number 3, I won't know the language or be able to figure out how to get around, etc. There has never been a better time to be alive, really, with technology, right? I mean, seriously, but
Yeah.
that is a myth. First, the myth is that you must learn the language before you move. Some places maybe you should.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that you should do, but I think that you should do it more as you go along, because you're going to learn it. You're going to learn the different things. If you're going to immerse yourself in the culture, you're going to hear people hear it all the time. I mean, how many times have I heard, listen to it, listen to cartoons, listen to the news, put it on, listen to podcasts, listen to all of it all the time, and you start picking up things, which you do. You start picking up. I can look at signs now and understand. I can't read them, but I understand what they're saying to me.
Yeah. And that's after 5 lessons. So some countries, the light went out. So some countries, very few people speak English. And those countries, do your research. Those countries, you might have to learn some basics before you move. Portugal is not one of those places. They do teach English in the schools. And is it that down there or no?
I have to check.
Okay, he's going to go away for a second. So they do teach English in the schools. And so most young people can speak English. A lot of people can speak English here. However, that's what Google Translate is about. And we are not above taking the phone, right? Put it on Google Translate and going like this and then going like that and going like this and going like that. And we do that on a regular basis. So I won't know the language or be able to figure out how to get around. Y'all, just the difference from 2008 when we were in South Africa. And then, we took trips in between there, but then the other big trip was Europe. And by that time, iPhones were standard, and Google Maps or mapping and all of that, and being able to find your way around without knowing the language, etc., plus Uber and all of that, it makes it easy. It really does. So a positive thought would be learning new things keeps me young. And y'all know I'm learning Spanish and Portuguese at the same time. I am creating
new synapses.
Yes, more pathways in my brain, because I rebuke that dementia. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Get thee behind me, dementia. I'm not about that life. So whatever I can do to remain physically healthy, mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, that's what I'm going to do. But technology really has
Technology's a
bridged.
plus.
Yeah, it has bridged the gap and made things so much easier than it was even 10, 12 years ago. So they were having a conversation about the first iPhone. I know you got one of the first ones.
Oh yeah.
Did you have it when we were in South Africa? Or was that after?
No, I had it in South Africa.
Did you?
Yeah.
Huh. But we didn't know about switching out SIM cards and all that stuff.
No.
And back in those days, they had those phones on lockdown.
Right.
So it was really hard. We would have had to get a throwaway phone or whatever. And we just didn't know.
Because you had a work phone with you that you could switch out the SIM card if I.
No, I was using Skype. I was using
you
Skype.
had a work phone too that you could do.
Nope. So yeah, I won't know the language or be able to figure out how to get around, etc. Versus I love learning new things, and that helps keep us young. So let's see what y'all are talking about in the chat. I would guess starting over is finding friends in a community. Yes, Action VJ. They could be talking about that as well. And when I hear starting over, I did, creating a new network of friends and stuff did kind of stick in my mind, but also that network of getting ahead, that keeping up with the Joneses, that, all of that stuff. So, Facebook groups make that really easy. And what's interesting is as soon as we started telling people that we were moving to Portugal, friends of ours are like, oh, I've got a friend who moved. Let me connect you. And so some of those folks have become our friends as well. And what I have found is that the English speaking people who are here that we've met, I mean, we do have some non-English speaking as a first language friends as well, but they still speak English because we do not speak enough Portuguese to have friends who only speak Portuguese yet.
Yeah, it takes a minute.
But what I've found is that everyone seems to be pretty much like-minded, right?
Yes.
Adventurous,
that's the
fun-loving, seeking joy, not always in the negative, didn't you hear? Ooh, what was that girl wearing? And all that kind of.
You don't hear all that.
I do not hear ugly gossip anymore. Even within like Black in Portugal, to me is the community. Like they kind of bring us together of all ages for their monthly gatherings and stuff like that. And even within that group, I just don't hear it. I'm sure it happens because when people get together, right? But I just don't hear it. American cars are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. They are.
Absolutely.
Well, you don't want a big car over here because fuel is not cheap.
Is it difficult to take your pet over or is Portugal pet friendly? Very, very pet friendly. And I'm going to go back to that other question that was really early. Let me see if I can find it. That was off topic because I'm answering these other off topic questions. So let's see. Sorry, y'all, but I do want to be fair. Here it is. Addie. Okay. I'm planning a trip to Portugal this summer and want to find out what is the best month to come. Well, summer is going to be more expensive. So just know that.
And it'd be hotter.
Yes.
Most people say spring.
Yes. Spring is probably the best. But if it has to be summer, I choose June. I would choose June because it's the all saints festivals going on, and here in the Lisbon metro area, it looks like every barrio, neighborhood, freguesia, they're all in competition to have the best festival, the best costumes in the parades, and every night for like a week, they're like out there grilling sardines, and there's games and little stages set up all across the city where live music and things are being played. There are activities for the kids. It is nothing to just walk around and run into a bazaar with booths set up and music and all of this stuff. So kind of like Christmas time here now. So I would say June, I really, really liked. It was just fun. It was just fun.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, it's noisier. So I would stay away from the squares of the neighborhood. And the squares are usually where the church is. And then there's usually like a plaza or a, cobblestone square, really. Because that's where a lot of stuff is going to be set
Yeah.
up.
Unless you like to be in the middle of stuff. Yeah.
And not get any sleep. Because we had a stage right like literally throwing distance from our balcony, and live amplified music. Cheryl says, I would love to move abroad, but my husband does not want to. Tell us more. Has he lived abroad before? And so based upon experience, he does not want to. What is it? Why do what is the why, if you don't mind sharing? Hey, Bahia, living her best life. Dementia care is exhausting, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, see, Auntie Trey was her motivating factor. See, she plans on leaving the husband behind. Oh, okay. Hopefully he's not watching, or does he already know?
He'll come.
Okay, so Lisa says, I've been retired for a year and a half. I have a decent retirement income. I'm ready to do something different.
Do it, Lisa. I'm telling you.
Yes. So in our Ready to Retire toolkit is the database that we use to find the best cities. It also has, the database, you can do two things. You can look up specific cities in one of them and see, what their cost of living is, or you can just put in all of your criteria, and then the cities within your criteria will pop up with information. It's so cool.
Yeah, do it. You probably won't look back.
Yeah, Auntie Trey knows. She knows. It is definitely hard. All right. So, how was your first experience with seeing doctors in Lisbon?
Mine was real cool. So it was the first time I really had to navigate without my wife, because usually we're always together and she's the one, I just follow her. So this time I had to do it myself. Straighten your face, sweetheart. This time I had to really do it myself. And it wasn't hard at all, and it helped build my confidence. Like, okay, how am I going to get here? What trains do I need to take? What metro do I need to take? Where do I need to get off? And just navigate there and then navigate back home. Uh, when I went to see the doctor was cool. For some reason, I always have a female doctor, which I don't mind at all. I feel they take better care of you, look out for you more.
Yeah, women rule.
And sat down to have my consultation. We went through everything that I needed to go through. She wrote out all the orders of things the blood tests and things that she wanted me to take that I didn't have here, but I had in the United States. And wrote down all the prescriptions that I have, so she'd have record of it and she can order anytime, or I could order it anytime that needs. And it went great. It went great. And I told her that I was learning Portuguese. I had 4 lessons. She said, great. Next time we have a meeting, we'll do half of it in Portuguese and half of it in English. And I just looked at her and said, yeah, don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
And, but she was cool. She was real cool.
So my first appointment was telehealth, and because it again was to renew prescriptions that I already had. So she actually, I'm just on, I'm of a certain age, and these hot flashes. So I'm just on hormone therapy, nothing else. And so she actually changed it a bit from what they were offering in the States. And then, so here's the cool part. She spoke English, and she took some time with me to really talk about what I was experiencing and everything else, and what any other concerns were. So she was a specialist gynecologist. geriatric, I hate using that word in reference to me, but geriatric gynecologist. So, very, very specific. And she talked about holistic approaches. So she prescribed custom made vitamins just for me, which are very expensive, but it's a multivitamin based upon a formula that she thinks is best for me and was made by a lab. Same with the hormone therapy, the creams and stuff like that that she prescribed. They were made just for me. It's a new world, y'all. It's a new world. So my experience was good as well. So if you have a question, please put a Q in front of it for all of you who are new. Tawana is in the chat. Hey, girl. Hey. Thanks to Rebloom Room, my husband and I are now looking to buy a place in the south of France. Cool. Yes. So you watched her live today. It sounds like, are you currently looking at properties to buy? And then I just had to pull this up because I love it. I prefer to say available rather than single. So as far as buying a place, no, not right now. And we do not suggest that people immediately go to a new place and purchase. For lots of reasons. The biggest reason is that if you are new to the city, like if you have been going to that city for the last decade and spending a month or two there, then maybe. But that's not most of us, right? Maybe you've visited a few times before for short periods of time, but what neighborhood do you want to live in? And all of that stuff. The neighborhood that you live in while you're visiting is probably not the neighborhood that you want to live in. That's number one. But the biggest things are understanding how land use works in your new city. What are the laws? How does the lawyers and or real estate agents work? Bankers, if you're going to get a loan, or are you going to pay cash? Where is the city investing? Is this area already overpriced? Is it on the rise? What's going on, right? So all of these things you should be thinking of prior to making a purchase of real estate. And in our 1 week challenge, we're going to talk about, renting versus buying, and is buying always the better choice? And my answer is no, it is not always the better choice. And so we've got a calculator in there and some other things. If you want to take the challenge, you have a couple of more hours to sign up and then it's shut off. So Marcia asks, how do you get over the fear? I'm 58 and disabled. I want to move, but am terrified I will not be able to support myself. Please give your advice. Yeah. So the first thing I want to say is, it seems like there's two folks who move. Like you either move because you're poor and then you move to, a developing country and can live less expensively, or you're rich and you move. That was what was in my head, mostly the rich. So if you still need to support yourself, there's no better time. Remote work is now a thing, right? And so if you still need to work because you have not saved enough for retirement, or to bridge that gap between 58 and 62, or because of the type of work you did, you're not going to get a full Social Security check. You're not going to get that 2,500 or whatever it is. Remote work is always an option. Rick and I were saving 60% of our income the last year or so. And so that was one of the things that we did to make sure we had enough money to make this move. The disability piece, I'm not sure if it's a physical disability or what. As far as physical disabilities, I would do research. Here in Lisbon, there's two things. One, the hills are steep. So if you are physically disabled, that could be a challenge. On the other hand, there are cutouts on the curbs. Just about every single sidewalk has a cutout for wheelchairs, right? So in that way, they have definitely made accommodations.
Yeah, and their transportation, their public transportation
is excellent.
is excellent.
It is excellent. And they do have special vans for folks who have physical disabilities and things like that. So without knowing the disability is a little hard. Here's the thing with the fear. If there is fear, plan more, right? Look at every single scenario. Look at the Ready to Retire Toolkit. I will put that banner back up. Get that. Look at the databases. See what the cost of living is, and then bring it up by 20%. And let that be your base. Then make sure you have 4 years worth of money between 58 and 62 to last you that amount of time. Here's the thing. This is what we don't get. Or I didn't get. Oops. What did I do? There we go. All right. I just thought you lived on what you got and then you use credit cards for the rest. If you get $2,500 a month, live on $2,500 a month. Just live on $2,500 a month and have a good emergency fund. So Rick and I saved up 2 years worth of living expenses as our buffer for any kind of surprises that came up. That's what we did. So Marcia, I hope that you are signed up for the challenge because you will come out of that challenge with your answers.
And come check it out. Come and see for yourself, or wherever you choose to go. Take a trip there.
Yes.
And check it out. You might want to come to Lisbon, but when you get to Lisbon, you might not want to be in Lisbon, or you might want to go to Paris, or you might want to be in Spain.
Yes.
Go check out where you think you might want to go.
And then measure what you see in the grocery stores, what you see for transportation against what you see in the databases, so that you know what it is actually like, boots on the ground. Live a life that you don't want to escape from. Hello. Then it feels like you're always on vacation. Yes.
There you go, Twana.
The funky brown chick speaks. All right. So let's get back to our list and then I'll get back to comments. So the first myth, adult commitments prohibit me from moving abroad or running away, versus I'm being an example to my family and providing opportunities. Myth number 2.
If I move abroad, I have to start over, versus I am reinventing myself.
Hello. Myth number 3, I won't know the language or be able to figure out how to get around, versus learning new things keeps me young. Work that brain. Work that brain. Yes. Number 4, and we kind of talked about this. I'm too old to make new friends. I'm afraid that I won't be accepted. Versus I can find my tribe anywhere, and tech makes that easier. We talked about the Facebook groups. There are brothers and sisters of this, brothers and sisters of that, Black in this, Black in that. Facebook groups for just about every single place that was on our list.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not by yourself. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that have the same mindset, that are thinking the same thing that you're thinking.
Yes.
And we build community together.
Yes. And we had folks over for on Thanksgiving Day, not really celebrating Thanksgiving. We played spades, we played blackjack.
Twana was here. Twana's in the chat, and she was here. And we taught the newbies, the foreigners,
the non-Americans,
how to play
spades. And we whooped their butt.
And we were talking crap.
Oh, yes.
They were even talking crap.
Yeah, they were talking trash. And it's so funny to hear a Brit talk trash because it's polite.
Yeah.
But it's still trash talk. But it's still trash talk. So Creativity Reigns asks, do you have a plan C in the event you decide you don't want to stay in Portugal or Mexico? I guess this is one of my fears. So no, we do not have a plan C. But we can always go back home. We can not home. We can always go back to the States, right? We can always go back to the States. And what we don't encourage is to get yourself in a position where you financially do not have any more choices. That's not a place to be in. And so if we find that I don't know. I mean, so I think we would know right now if this wasn't going to work.
Yeah. I mean, but if you really, really felt that you needed to look into another place, you can. I mean, it's a big world.
Yeah, and that's why we didn't bring a bunch of crap with us. That's
Yeah.
why we didn't ship a bunch of stuff. So if we wanted to move to southern France or to southern Spain, um, obviously we'd have to fly back to start the visa process again for those other countries. But we do not have a bunch of stuff, furniture and all of this other stuff to move. We pack up our 7 suitcases and make that move. And we have created enough of a buffer financially that any place in the world basically that does not require us to bring in $100,000 a year like some of the Scandinavian countries is available to us. That American passport, y'all, come on. It does provide opportunity. Rochelle, thank you too for this channel. It's such a treat to see a mature couple showing us it can be done. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Premature gray.
The first time he said that, I just could not stop laughing. Tech support. There you go. Right? Seriously. Okay, so Phoenix King says he's been practicing Portuguese for a whole year, and he'll be moving to Portugal this December from Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Wow, the island that America ruined. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not my fault though, because me and mine were not in charge. Phoenix King,
and when you got an idiot that throws paper towels during a flood.
After a hurricane. Yeah. Yes, learning new things are always. I just, what is life for but to continue learning? And if you stop learning, like the notion of getting stuck in a rut, I just can't imagine. Seriously. Hey, Estenio, good to see you. Cheers. Portugal was originally our first choice, but we decided on Mexico to start off our journey. We love Mexico. Been here now for about 8 days, but staying here for the whole 6 months before we decide where to next. So it sounds like you're going to be doing slow travel. Estenio, you got jokes. You got jokes because we knew. Even with my landlord, so I pulled out the little Portuguese. I knew it lasted for 2 sentences. Then she said something. I was like, you lost me. What company did you use for money transfer? I feel blessed to have found your YouTube channel. Thank you. With so many inspiring people that have moved abroad and helping others to do the same. Yeah, we're not here to say, look at us. Ain't we this? Because we are here in Lisbon and blah, blah, blah. No. We are on a mission to encourage as many Black folks as possible who got some sense in their head, not like that guy who's running down in Georgia. He can stay in America. Yeah. But he can stay in America. Definitely. Him and his kind can stay in America. But all the Black folks that have sense, America does not deserve you. It does not deserve you. We have paid our dues. It is time to get out. And anything that we can do to help, definitely. So we do not use TransferWise to transfer money. We have paid a couple of vendors with TransferWise, but when you start transferring large amounts of money, those fees are out of control. So we just wire from our bank account to our bank account here. And it's the one fee, no matter how much you transfer, and then we always encourage people to open up an account at Schwab or Fidelity because they reimburse ATM fees, they reimburse the foreign transaction fees and stuff like that. They do have a banking arm and you can get a debit card from them and all that good stuff.
Yes.
So Nubianet says, in my exploration of moving to Portugal, I've already made several friends who are waiting for me to get there. See, yeah, we're waiting for you to get here.
We're waiting for you.
I'm going in June and monitoring the airline tickets. It's best to buy in March. Yeah. These airlines, they're on something. I know that there are shortages with labor because they haven't been treating people right. They laid a bunch of people off that did not come back, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. So, so see, she loves a toolkit. There you go. Okay. I didn't pay her to say that. Seriously, I did not. So, hello, I am Tall Boy. We
I am
loved
Tall Boy.
Barcelona was lovely. We love Barcelona.
Oh, yeah, cool.
In Madrid. So we had brunch with him and his girlfriend, and it was a good time.
Oh, it was a good time.
Yeah, I think I posted some stuff on IG. I think I did. Okay, here's another question. Are there Portugal groups not on Facebook that you recommend? There are WhatsApp groups, but you have to be invited into those WhatsApp groups. So I don't know. If someone else in the chat knows, if you can help out Rosalind, that would be great. And I understand about Facebook is a hater. I don't like Facebook. But we do have a Facebook group, Fire Over 50, and we are crowdsourcing, supporting each other, being accountability to each other on this road to financial independence. I swoop in. I love our groups because like-minded folks. So doing Exodus Summit and Piggy Girl Solo Travel and groups like that, plus ours. I love those communities, but Facebook in general.
Yeah.
So I understand. And, there could be an opportunity for you just to create a profile to join those groups, but you're going to have to put your picture on. So we've got a bunch of folks who tried to get into the Fire Over 50 group. Either they weren't from the diaspora, but said, aren't we all from Africa? Yes, loves. We are all from Africa. We love you. We love you. But you need to identify as Black. And if there's not a picture on your profile or some way we can verify, or you didn't answer the questions, that is why we have not let you in yet. So we are really trying to keep this group safe without any gaslighting. Wanda's 50 plus traveling lifestyle. Can 2 or more use the same apartment application as proof of housing? I'm thinking of 2 expats moving together as roommates. I don't see why not. I don't even think that they look that deeply for Portugal, because we had to submit separate applications.
Right.
We did submit a copy of our marriage certificate for the purposes of our bank accounts. Like if he or his retirement account that my name isn't on, or my retirement account 401k, right, that his name is not on. So, but I don't know that they necessarily looked at that in terms of our lease agreement. Now, if you're going to lease something, the lease should have all of your names on it anyway, right? So there you go. As long as the landlord doesn't mind, I don't see any problems with the visa folks, with the embassies to look at that. And you guys are applying separately. They're probably not going to even realize. You mentioned 2,500. Do you feel this amount is sufficient? Yes, mobility is an issue. Okay, I was a former government employee, so I received 2 forms of disability income, however, no savings. We need to get that savings together, Marcia. And so, yes, 2,500. You can live in Portugal on $2,500 a month.
Yes.
Can you live in the city center at the top of a high rise in a penthouse for $2,500 a month? Probably not. But could you live in our apartment at $2,500 a month? Yes. So the only thing is we're at the top of a hill. But there's buses. There's a bus line that goes right the main street. We're 2-3 doors from the main street. And up here, it's flat. It's just the getting up here. And I use that as my opportunity to avoid a gym and not have to pay those gym fees. But we could take a bus and be dropped off 3 doors down. So the transportation here in the city is excellent, in my opinion, especially compared to the places I've lived in the States.
I mean, and
affordable.
That's if you want to live in Lisbon. There's plenty of places around that you don't have all the hills and stuff like that. You don't have to live in Lisbon. There's Setúbal was beautiful.
Yeah, and it was pretty
It's
flat.
further away, but it's pretty flat. It just depends on where you want to live.
Yeah.
You might not want to live in Lisbon.
The Algarve is pretty flat.
Algarve is pretty flat.
However, so do you drive? Because I think you need a car. If you live down in the Algarve, you don't necessarily need a car in Setúbal because that's the metro area. I know the trains go down there, etc. So yeah, it was pretty flat down there. It definitely was, and so cute. Oh my gosh, we've got to show you this
It's
video.
beautiful.
We're going to put together this video. It, with the Christmas lights and the old town, really was cute. So yes. I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, back to the comments and questions, and then we will get to number 4. I saw one more. Here we go. Fly back where to the US? I don't want to come. I don't want to come, but I've got a family member who's having a huge birthday party. We've got one of my godchildren who's getting married, and I did leave some stuff there that I wasn't sure was going to fit into our lifestyle here. And so I need to make some decisions about that. You left your big robe.
I left my big robe, and I need to get some French roast Starbucks coffee from Costco, the big bags. I need to go get a couple of those bags.
I think I'm going to change his taste buds, and he's going to start to love espresso.
Espresso was good we had yesterday. It was
so
very
we
good.
went to this little cafe. Lord, talk about not knowing the language. I asked for a latte. I saw it on the menu. All of us got espresso in little bitty cups.
Yeah.
And then I said with milk, and she said con leche, which I thought was interesting because that's not how you say it in Portuguese, but she said it in Spanish. And I was like, yes. So she poured a little bit of milk in the little bitty cup. I'm like, let's just roll with it. Let's just roll with it. This is what you have to do. So Samantha asked, HALISI and Rick, my family and I will be there in the beginning month of February. We have an 18-year-old ready for college. Is there any information you can share regarding higher education? Here in Portugal, I mean, there are universities everywhere. So obviously there's a university here, the big ones in Coimbra. I don't know the pricing, to be perfectly honest, but I know it's more affordable than in the States. That is one thing that I do know. I have heard that in Germany it's free, and in English. In the UK, it's much less expensive as well. So you can be here, he can be there. The flights back and forth are $40. He can come home every holiday. But I haven't looked into the pricing here. So if anyone knows, you can drop that in the chat and help us out. That would be great. And Samantha, watch the comments in the replay, because a lot of Portuguese folks, well, not a lot, but we have some Portuguese followers that always come into the comments and add information, and they are so helpful. So, yeah. I love warm weather, and so does my body. The beaches are my happy place. Team boycott winter. I heard that, Marcia. Sounds like a vacation to me. And so it's a little damper here because, there's humidity, but the beaches here are gorgeous. It's been cooler here, but even so it was supposed to be 64 yesterday. Said it felt like 65. In my opinion, I was wearing a short sleeve shirt, and I took off my jacket, and I just had a light rain jacket. It felt like the 70s.
It felt 70s. Yeah.
Until the evening.
Yeah. And then as the sun went down, it started going down, it got cooler.
It got cool. But yes.
I saw somebody up there that we probably need to shout out to.
Where?
Was it hit the spot? Tammy. You know who she is?
Wait.
Tammy.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is
Tammy.
I really enjoyed Lisbon. I can see this. All right, I am tall boy.
All right, come on, I'm tall boy.
Lisbon it is, baby. Lisbon is all that. If you are I'm a city girl. I'm a city girl. So yeah. All right. I don't see any I see some decluttering going on. Great,
There was
Marguerite.
a question.
Did you see a question
So,
that we didn't answer? We answered that one.
okay.
That's about
That was the one I was
college.
looking at.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, fire over 50, baby. That's right. Okay, here we go. In my travels, would you consider creating community on Clubhouse? Um, oh no, y'all. I'm trying to do as little as possible. You know I'm a Vicarian. and have right now, like getting everything ready for the challenge and making sure that people get let into the Facebook group and planning for YouTube and finding folks to interview. Y'all. So we might do a membership type thing at some point, but not until this is a little bit less work. So yeah, but yeah, we are definitely thinking of a membership type group. I think the front runner to that is the Facebook group, and from that we will create the membership, and maybe in oh, what's that other one? Discord or something like that. So we will see. The US economy is designed to max out your income, right? With necessities, credit cards, and loans take in any extra leftover. You're a continuous paycheck, right?
Yeah.
So we want you all to stop with the living from paycheck to paycheck. There is a code that is cracked for financial independence, right? And the notion that you live within your means just that. Pay yourself first, pay your future self first, and then what is left over can be spent on stuff.
Yes.
So High Vibe asks, if you live in an area that may require use of a car, how difficult is it to purchase a vehicle or rent a car? According to the folks who have cars,
it's not difficult to purchase or rent a car.
Yeah,
Not
and
at
supposedly it's really inexpensive. And we've got a couple of people. You need to get a car. I'm not trying. No, no. On his birthday, we got into a really, really bad car accident. We were in an Uber or a Bolt or whatever shared ride thing we were in. We got broadsided because these people.
Yeah.
They drive fast. They drive fast on narrow streets where sometimes they're two-way streets, but there's only room for one, and they're driving as if they're on a highway.
Very impatient.
And which is so opposite of how everything else here is done. Yeah. Halisi, can you speak about your dad or mom and how their welfare and living situation played into your ability to move abroad? My mom is living with me, some dementia. My plans are on hold. So I found a place first of all, I moved my dad back to where we had lots of friends and family. That was not Colorado. So I moved him back to Los Angeles, and then I placed him in a boarding care that I felt comfortable with. And so, he's got folks who visit him physically on a regular basis, and then I do video calls with him on a regular basis and will continue to until he is no longer capable of doing that. My mom does not realize that she is not capable of 100% taking care of herself. So I had to do some maneuvering and get aid to help pay for someone to come into her home to help her, doing the laundry, cooking meals and things like that. I think one time she was cooking something like beans or something that take a long time, left the house for 6 hours and forgot. And since then she has not cooked. So she eats crap, and that has not helped her mental or spiritual state at all. We do have family still in the city. So there's folks to check in on her, but we've hired professional help, and they come in about 17, 18 hours a week. And she still drives. She still takes herself to church and stuff like that. But my dad is, we took away his keys a long time ago. So yeah. So that's how we have done it. We're, considering some other situations, but for right now, this is how it is. And I talk to both of them on a regular basis. I gave my mom my old iPad so I can video chat with her. And then, which is always this big, huge thing because her figuring it out. Now, my dad, I'm calling the caretaker's phone and she's handing it to him. And so that's a lot easier to do. So yeah, we could not put my dad, there's a good chance he might outlive us. So
Yeah.
that's just not an option. What area would you say in your stay? What area would you stay in if you're staying for 3 months? Can you get a NEEF or do what you need for residency in that amount of time?
We have a NEEF.
Yeah, I think he is talking about for themselves.
Oh,
so, yes, I would, definitely. The NEEF and the bureaucracy may take longer if you don't know what you're doing. But we opened up a bank account when we were here. It took a few hours, but we went and got it same day. Because we didn't have a permanent residence, they mailed our debit cards to the bank, and then we went back like a week later to pick them up. So that was fine. We had already gotten our NEEF before we came, and we got it through a company. There, we do have an affiliation with Border.io, which can help with that, or Relocate to Portugal can help with that as well. Or you can do it. You can DIY it on Friends and something of Portugal on Facebook group. Americans and Friends in Portugal. They have all the DIY instructions you will need. I have no idea how to get a NEEF because we paid somebody to do it. Because, taking care of dad, trying to figure out mom, trying to figure out the visa process all at the same time is like, what can I pay for so I don't lose it? Auntie Trey, you said if you decided to move to south of Spain or France, you'd have to start the process over again. Yes. So if we stayed here until we got a passport, a Portuguese passport, then yeah, we could just move. And the residency situation is a lot easier because it's just moving within the EU. It's kind of like moving around the United States. But if we just have temporary residency now, and then we have to renew again, and then after that second renewal, we can apply for permanent or for citizenship. If we decided, like in March or something, we want
to move to Spain.
We want to move to Spain. We want to move to France. We would have to fly back to the States
and apply
for our visa at their embassy, and then come back to France to turn in that visa, that residency visa for their version of a green card. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know of a country that you can apply for a visa. Well, maybe I could apply from maybe I could apply from here. We could apply. I know you just can't apply in country. But the other thing is that it depends on the paperwork that they would need. So the embassy in the United States, for instance, in the consulates, they recognize American stuff. So they know what they're looking at. If we went to the UK, for instance, and tried to apply for France, they don't know what our stuff looks like. They don't know the printout from the Social Security website and all of that. They're not used to seeing that. So, I'm not sure how that will work, Auntie Trey. But I know for Mexico, you can do it that way. Is it better to open an account at Schwab or Fidelity easier than keeping my credit union? We have all of it.
Yeah, we have all.
We do have all of it. Is Amex accepted in a lot of places in Portugal? I also have an Amex prepaid card I can use. Yes and no. In the bigger places, the bigger chain stores and stuff like that, yes. In the mom and pops, no. And smaller restaurants and things like that, no. Do they drive on that? No. Only Brits do that. I thought all of Europe did that.
South Africa,
because British colony.
Britain.
Yeah.
drive on the opposite side
Well,
of the
there's
road.
probably some other places that British
Well,
have.
that we've been to.
Yeah, that we've been to. I thought when I was younger, I thought all of Europe drove on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah, they don't. Not
They
here.
don't. They don't. All right. So some of these questions are off topic. So myths and truths about moving abroad over the age of 50. We said adult commitments prohibits me from moving abroad or running away. That's a limiting thought. More positive thought is I'm being an example for my friends and family. If I move abroad, I have to start over versus I'm reinventing myself.
Okay, the next one is I don't know the language or be able to figure out how to get around, etc. That's the limiting thought. The other way of thinking should be learning new things keeps me young, even though I'm premature
Yes.
gray. I'm premature gray.
Number 4, I'm too old to make new friends, and I'm worried about being accepted. That's so one of the things that we didn't talk about today, but you've heard for any of you who have this is not your first time. If this is your first time, hey, welcome. But if this is not your first time, then one of the things that we love, love, love about Portugal is that we blend in. We are not seen as foreigners until we open our big American traps. But as long as we keep our mouth closed,
they will talk to you in Portuguese.
They assume we're Portuguese.
Because they assume you're Portuguese.
And that is lovely. It's lovely. Especially in the tourist areas where you've got vendors and stuff looking for the tourists, and we blend. So yeah, what's the best way to transition from the US to an unfurnished apartment? Should you get a short-term rental until purchased furniture is delivered? So it depends. Here in Portugal, if you want to get a D7 visa and you have to apply in San Francisco, you cannot get short-term rental like an Airbnb. You have to get a lease. Our lease on this apartment was a furnished apartment. So there you go. It does not cost as much to furnish apartments here or furnish places here unless you want really special, very expensive furniture. IKEA is less expensive here, and you can furnish an apartment for about $2,500 with the basics. If you are renting an unfurnished apartment, there's several things that you can do. Our thing is we were going to ask one of our friends to pick up the key. We were going to order IKEA and get it delivered and ask them to be there for the delivery. That's one good thing about coming in advance, meeting real friends, and having some help there in the country. Is there a prepaid debit card? No fees for students going abroad. Friend's daughter going to Paris. I want to give her as a gift. I'm sure. I don't know. I've seen where you can get like the Visa prepaid cards. Usually with a bunch of other gift cards. When we were in Continent the other day, I saw a big, huge rack full of those gift cards. I didn't look, but I would say yes. If they've got all of those gift cards, they probably have the prepaid Visa cards as well. So, yeah. All right. So, number 5, the last one. Oh, too old to make friends or feel accepted. Versus I can find my tribe anywhere, and tech makes that easier. If you saw our episode on Michelle from Casa Elm, who lives in San Miguel de Allende, when she first moved there were not a lot of folks who looked like us who spoke English who lived there. There were Americans and English speakers, but they did not look like us. Michelle has changed that. Right? Her, getting out there. She's on YouTube. I don't know if she's got a podcast as well. And Casa Elm is dedicated to bringing folks to San Miguel de Allende and helping them see if this is a kind of place that they would want to live or to do a retreat. So you can build your tribe. And that's why if, our best cities to live in, that's part 2 that we did not use having a Black community already there as one of the criteria. And so one of the cities that came up was Split in Croatia.
Yeah.
Which I'd never heard of. But we were talking to Rui, one of our subscribers who is a native Portuguese person. He has been to Split and he says it is gorgeous. So we cannot wait to go to Split, Croatia. And no, I don't know if there's a large Black English speaking community there, but hey, build one. So the last one is it's too late. It's just too late. I'm not rich and only the rich can move or retire abroad. Versus I can cut costs by living abroad, and now there's opportunities for remote work. That is the positive thinking. So, are you too old to move abroad? Only if you think so. Only if you think so. Life is for the living. Having this new adventure helps keeps you young. It's exciting, right?
When one of the groups that we belonged to, we had an 80-year-old.
That's right. That's right.
He was 80-year-old looking to move to Portugal.
Yes.
Not necessarily Lisbon, but he was looking to move to Portugal. Life is for the living, folks.
Yes.
Keep living every day.
So question Rennie asked, do you have to give up your USA passport to get a Portuguese passport? No. So any country that has a treaty with the United States, you can have dual citizenship. So that's what we plan to do. It is very, very expensive to renounce citizenship to the USA. Plus all of our kids are there. I don't want to have to go through hassles going to visit my kids, our grandkids, or whatever. Or mom and dad, what company did you use to help get your visa? I don't want to say the company that we use because to get the visa, we used Relocate to Portugal. I was thinking of the NEEF.
Yeah.
We paid entirely too much.
Relocate to Portugal.
Gail at Relocate to Portugal. So just type in relocatetoportugal.com. We have no affiliation, but, and we're still working with her for this part of the process where we have to go to the immigration office to change in our visa for our green card and all of that. So we're still using her, and she is great, and she is affordable, and she's on point, and her people are great. And yeah. Rick and Halisi, y'all good and well. We can't, y'all know good and well, we can't stay on topic.
We don't expect you to.
No, I know. It's hard. If you do not like small chat, you're probably not watching. Because
small chat or long chat.
No, I mean just chat. Just small talk.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying because we like to talk, and then we talk for a while.
Yes,
we've had people actually come at us and say, "Well, you guys need to cut down on how long you're talking."
You need to edit those videos.
Yeah, you need to cut it down, and this and that. It's like we like talking, and they like talking to us. So
yeah, this is fun for us. So hopefully you're having fun too. Were you able to get the passports from FedEx, Valerina? Thank you for asking. Yes. Yeah. FedEx Portugal. Okay. So when you talk about things that you have to get used to and to adjust to, and here's the thing about, I look at my mom, she is so set in her ways. She is too old to move abroad because she has decided that she's too old to move abroad. She is so set in her ways that the notion of not having things exactly as she expects it would be too hard for her to handle. We got our passport shipped back to us via FedEx, and it's FedEx, right?
Yeah, should be there within a day, the next day.
So they sent us an email. They were looking at the tracking. Everything's cool. It's going to come on Wednesday. The Wednesday before, no. This Wednesday that just passed. Wait. Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Right? It's supposed to come on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So, because Thanksgiving is not a thing here, right? So it's supposed to come on Wednesday. And then we get because I put in my email for tracking. So then we get an email saying, oops, no, delay. It's not going to come until Thursday. So fine. We go out, we meet Tammy, we meet I'm Tall Boy, Corey out, breakfast. Then we go shopping. I got to buy a pan for my cornbread and all this stuff. We don't get back until evening. Look on the thing. They have been here they came on Wednesday, rang the buzzer. We didn't answer, of course. And instead of leaving a note on the door like UPS does, they put in the tracking wrong address. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I called them the next day on Thanksgiving. I'm like, what's up? Y'all said you weren't coming until today. Then you changed your mind and came yesterday. We weren't home to receive it. You have wrong address. I know it's the right address because I see the receipt. It's the right address. What's going on? Oh, so he double checked what was in the computer. I said, yes, that's our address. Well, the buzzer doesn't work. Yes, it does work. We weren't home because you guys said you weren't coming until today. Well, he's already out now, so you can come pick it up. And we're like, where? Because, I'm trying to cook food. We're cleaning up. We got company coming over. He said, oh, you have to come out to the airport.
Come out to the airport. Mm-hmm. That's where the FedEx office is.
The facility. No, not doing that. Not about that life. So the Metro goes out there, but I'm not doing it. I've got folks coming over. I'm not doing it. Well, we can deliver it tomorrow. Cool. Friday morning, I was like on it. We had our doors open so we could see and hear him come on the street below.
In case he rang the bell and didn't get in the door, I could yell at him if he was crossing back across the street, say, come back here.
Right. We are not playing that. So we got them in our hands with our visa in them. And it was official October something or other, but it is really, really feels official now because we've got the piece of paper in our hand. Okay, so Lisa says, I'm exploring Portugal. I just got back from a 9-day bus tour throughout Portugal and plan to return in February for 2 months.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it's going to be colder in February, but my son has been to Split and loved it. See? So what part of Croatia? It is north of, what's the big city that everybody goes to? Where did we go to? Dubrovnik. Yeah, it's north of there.
Where they shot Game of Thrones.
That's right. That is right. All right, y'all. We've been on here for an hour and a half now. If you've got questions, put a Q in front of it so we can find your questions. In the meantime, it's 10 o'clock here at night. Before midnight, we are turning off the challenge. So I will put the information back into the chat if you want to take the challenge. You have one last chance. It is starting tomorrow. We are going to meet every single day live for Q&A. And if you cannot make the lives, we will record them. Y'all, if you're in the challenge already, I'm going to send the email out as well to remind you. Email your questions ahead of the live Q&A so we can make sure that we use the time well and we answer all of your questions, and then we'll take questions from the group live. So I don't see any more questions.
This one. It didn't have a Q in front of it, but further down.
Okay. I'm 71, plan to rent in Cascais, February and March 2023, then use the time to decide if I will stay. High rent in Cascais. All right, now it's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful. It reminds me of La Jolla. So you saw another question?
I did. Keep going. It's coming up. All right, he was making it right there.
Okay. I still want to keep my Amex and Chase cards. Those are going to be my key to traveling Europe. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So we use our American Express to get the points at the major stores, right? So like Continent and places like that. They take American Express. So we get our points on our American Express card with that. Otherwise we use the Chase Sapphire and other card to get those points. I'm sorry we can't see what your name is, but thank you for watching on LinkedIn. Hey, what is the best way to bring my dog? I do believe that you need a doggy passport. We probably will interview someone because we chose not to bring our dog because he's older. Very, very dog friendly. A lot of folks have dogs around here, and sometimes they don't pick up their poop, which kind of ticks me off.
But they do that in America too.
Yeah, they do. They do.
But yeah, there's different things that you do have to go through to bring your dog over here with vets and stuff in the United States. Make sure he's okay to travel,
Yeah.
and then you have to send papers to Portugal for them to do it too. But like she said, we'll sit down and talk to somebody.
Well, Heather brought her dog. So if you're in the Black in Portugal group, one of the moderators, Heather, she brought her little doggy from America. So if you're in that group, you can ask her, but we'll do some research. Let me write that down. Doggy passport. No, we will still be going live. We don't have it like that. We don't have 100,000 subscribers, and so doggy passport. So no, we will be going live throughout the holidays, but there is going to after the challenge, we're gonna take a break. We'll still be live on Sundays, but we're just gonna relax a little bit because it has it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work creating all of this content and making sure everyone has what they need. Thank you. Thank you, Rich Action Show, for the super sticker. Y'all, 4 scholarships, 4 people are getting to do the challenge and get their finances straight, get a plan for financial independence because of Dr. Phil and people like the Rich Action Show giving super sticker money. We have set that aside to give scholarships, and we just thank you. The community thanks you. BP, I told my dear friend and CPA, Fort Collins, Rick.
Oh, Fort Collins.
She went nuts on my gaslighting, blah, blah, blah. I don't tell anyone. Feel like I'm living in a bubble. Yeah, I get. I mean, so, and when you say gaslighting, is it the stuff like, aren't they racist type gaslighting? Like there's no racism in the United States? Or why would you want to move from the greatest country on earth type gaslighting? Or was it more personal than that? Or was it generic? Obviously we had each other, so that helped. And some of my associate colleagues that I told in Denver, they were very supportive. But I did not tell people who are not adventurous spirits.
Yeah.
Right. And then one of my dear girlfriends, she got inspired, and her family's giving her grief because she wants to go do an immersion trip to Colombia, and she's single, and they are just giving her so much grief about that. Yeah. And so we're her only support system. Come into the Facebook groups and stuff like that and find your support system, seriously, because we got your back.
And a lot of times, whoever you tell, if people aren't in that adventurous mindset, if they're not in that, hey, go for it, you should do the things that you would love to do to make you happy, they become haters, and it's like they have every reason why you shouldn't do something.
Yeah.
Every reason. And who needs it? Miss me with that. I don't need that.
Exactly. A lot of times they put their own fears on you. And by you doing this thing, by you taking control of your life and doing this thing to make your life better, that makes them have to look at themselves.
Yeah.
So if Tawana is still in the chat, I haven't seen her say anything, but if you are still listening, Tawana, what did you have to do to bring your cat over? Because whatever applies to that is going to apply to the dogs as well. So actually, I'll just ask, if she's not, I will text her after this and ask her that question and put it into the comments after this is over for our dog friend. And so tons of cats here. As a matter of fact, there's a sanctuary down in
Setubal. Yeah.
We've got video that they set up a cat house, and I guess these cats looked healthy. There was probably about 40 cats.
Oh, yeah.
About 40 cats, kittens and cats. They had tracking systems on them. So this is definitely a pet friendly place. And we see outdoor cats with collars on, and we see cats in windows when we're passing by apartments all the time. So yeah. And I like cats now that I've always liked cats, but I've been allergic. I think I've outgrown it because when we were cat sitting, I didn't sneeze or anything.
Yeah.
When we were house
I
sitting.
kind of like them. I have never really been a cat person. I've always been a dog person. Not that I didn't like cats, but I'm starting to.
Cats are cool.
Cats are cool.
Yeah. I still wouldn't want one as a pet because, boy, they're just too smart. They're just too smart for me. Looking forward to the challenge. Yay, Francis. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, we've got to rest and rejuvenate ourselves. Definitely. Pam asked, how do I qualify for a scholarship? We have given them all away this time, Pam, but in the future, because we will continue to do this, once we announce to email us, you just email us, tell us that you need it and what you hope to get from the course. And I did not turn anyone away. I'm not asking for anybody's financials or anything like this. This is the honor system. It seems to me that, if you say you need it, then I'm gonna trust that you need it. And that you would not be able to take the course if you did not get the scholarship. So that was all that was necessary. I told my cousin and my brother, and they just laugh. I'm going to be laughing next year.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying. Good afternoon. Did the two of you get temporary or permanent residency in Mexico? I'm going to attempt permanent. We got permanent. Yeah, which is lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I don't know what you said, but they agree. I'm not sure because we're probably so far behind in the chat. So I'm not sure. You cannot and should not share your thoughts and dreams with people. Only those that have amazing things going on in their lives deserve your thoughts and ideas, in my opinion. You guys know deep down inside who the haters are in your group. Some people have been in your life all of your life. And so even though you guys have kind of grown like this, you still continue to keep them as friends, right? But you know those people. And I don't believe, and you know how some Black folks don't tell anybody your plans because, they try to sabotage. I don't believe in that. I believe in putting it out there in the universe. I believe in telling folks who are like-minded, I want their prayers. I want their positive thoughts. I did not tell the people who I knew just have the negative Nellies.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, they sneaky. So thank you, Greta. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have not said it lately. Please please subscribe. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. Like I said, I don't know why. I just like milestones. And, we've had people say, wouldn't you consider what you guys do a hobby? No. This is not a hobby because even when we are tired and do not feel like going live, we go live because we said we are going to, and we try to bring you information that will help you on your journey. So no, this is not a hobby. So do you consider yourself retired because, you've made that $1,000 from YouTube?
Yes.
What is the difference? Why do you feel retired?
I feel retired because I'm doing what I want to do. It's not a job. It's enjoyable. It's meeting people. It's having community with you guys. It's all that in a bag of chips. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If I had to, even when we're tired and we don't feel like it, we feel like it because you guys give us the energy. You guys, we get energy from having a conversation with you and sharing information with you and hopefully making a difference in your lives because you sure enough make a difference in ours.
Yeah, definitely. We have a ball. The notion of having to ask permission to take a vacation, to ask for permission to go to the doctor or tell them I've got a doctor's appointment, so I'm not going to be there, and then hear the repercussions. Every day is Saturday. That uneasiness that I would get in my stomach on Sunday afternoon because I knew I had to go back to work and, oh gosh, what's my inbox going to like? And what happened? Oh, all of that stuff is gone. None of that stuff is there. And like I said, I haven't awakened. Well, I was about to say I haven't awakened to an alarm clock in a long time, but that's not true because Tawana be keeping us out in these streets and stuff and keeping us late. Our company did not leave till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I didn't miss FedEx. So we set an alarm. We set an alarm.
Scott.
Wait. 1 sec.
Stubble.
I think I knew that. Y'all, this pronunciation of Portuguese is on another level. It is on another level. I can understand most of the things that my tutor is saying when she speaks to me in Portuguese, but
pronouncing it is different.
Yes. I don't know that you can join the Black diaspora. So diaspora just means spread out, right? So people who have left the place of their ancestors and are, so anyone can be of a diaspora. You just have to identify as Black to join the Facebook group. Hi, everyone joining late from, hey, Rhonda, glad you were able to make it. We are wrapping up here because I'm looking for some last minute questions. I just have to put this name up because I just think it's so funny. My friend has cats and they are hilarious. Yes, cats are hilarious.
Tyrone and Rollo.
Stubble. It doesn't look like that. It does not look like that. See why you have to mention that Sunday uneasiness. I'm sorry.
That's why we got to get you out here in these international streets.
Yes. Did you fund your Portugal bank account prior to getting your lease? Yes, we did. So we put money in when we were out here in June to open the account, and then we put more money in. VFS and or the consulate, I don't know, wanted to see at least 3 months worth of living expenses in our account. We pay our landlord through the Portuguese bank account, so it was just easier. I try to talk about timing the market. We don't do that with investing in our index funds in the stock market, but I do look to see when the dollar is up compared to the euro, and I transfer money then. It hasn't been down like it was a year ago, a year or 2 years ago. It's usually just a couple of pennies, but hey, that's what I do.
Yeah, I thought I saw earlier somebody said the dollar was at 94 and 97 cents or something.
Last I checked, it was 97 cents to 1 euro. So we retired. I didn't realize it was that late, though. I really, truly didn't. Okay, last question. Here we go. Are you both now professionally working as move abroad coaches? No. And yes, we do one-on-one calls. We do that. So we've chatted a lot about all things Portugal. We've talked about all of the myths and truths about moving abroad after the age of 50. Y'all, life is for the living. Do not wait. Start planning your escape now, to your escape to adventure is what I want to say.
Yeah.
Right?
Your escape to the new you.
Yeah, definitely. I love learning new things. And so this has definitely been an adventure. I've just put in the chat how you can book a one-on-one call for us. Obviously, all of you who had the early bird special, just going to remind you, it does come with a 30-minute one-on-one with us. We will be sending out the link for that around day 4 or 5. So look for that. So I wouldn't call us move abroad coaches, more financial educators, but we will help you. Like if if there's questions that you have, if you want to see what your plan is and have us look at it, yes, we have done that for folks. A lot of the folks who have booked time with us is like they had their stuff together. So yeah, we do that. We do that thing.
Mhm.
So, right? I'm just telling y'all. This is not a dress rehearsal. You get one shot at this. So we are going to wrap it up. What do you want to watch next? I would say, first next week. Next week, we're going back to Mexico, y'all. We're going to be talking to Nikki in Merida. She moved her mom to Merida. And so for folks who this is an option, I wish we were trying. I wish I could have moved my mom. This would have been so good for her. I think it would have given her new lease on life. She has been adventurous at some periods in her life, but now I think we just waited too late. But it is a fascinating story that Nikki has. And so we reached out to her. Thank you, Chris. We love you. Thank you, husband of Rhonda. Oh, okay. So glad she found your site. Keep it up. Thank you. Y'all know this goes to the scholarship fund. So we thank you so much. Are all the spots taken in the challenge? No, there are still spots available. I will put the sign up in the chat one more time. I think we have 4 more spots. I think it's 4. 4 more spots, and then that is it. Love Nikki. So Professor says she loves Nikki. She's all amazing. Of that.
She's cool, people. She is so cool.
Yes. So again, thank you so much, Chris. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of y'all. So we're going to be talking to Nikki next week in Mexico. And then after that, we might be going to the Caribbean. So not physically, but talking to someone who's in the Caribbean. So that is that. What should you watch next? We believe that you should watch How to Get Your Money Straight. I will put that in the link below that we did a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And because we want you out here in these streets, and usually it is the money that is keeping people from doing this thing. Whether you want to move here or you want to stay in the States, we want you to be free. And we look at money as freedom units, right? Freedom units, free to choose the life that you want to live, not to have to be tied to trading your time for money. That's not what we want for you. So, yeah. So BP is saying, I'll leave it with this, that they're increasing the Mexico temporary residency. Yes. So, and that's why it's, don't wait, y'all. Don't wait, because just like today's prices are not tomorrow's prices, what the criteria is today is not necessarily the criteria tomorrow. When we first started looking at this, a 1-year lease was not necessary, and you paid 0 taxes on a pension. That went away. Both of those things went away. So
things
change. Yeah. And so you never know. All right, y'all, we're going to let you go, and we will see you next week. We have put the challenge information in the description and in the chat. If you want to join our Fire Over 50 group and you
come on and join
identify as Black, you don't have to be over 50, but we're trying to create this safe space and talk about the isms that most folks in the Black community have around money. We have all heard the same things. We all know that racism plays a part in our lack of generational wealth. And what we do not want is someone to say that's not true. So that's why we're trying to provide this safe space for folks who have a similar experience on this planet. And I think that's it.
That's it.
We love y'all.
We love you.
See ya.
See you later.